So once again, we have another survey of the Renaissance literature. So Niccolo Machiavelli was an Italian diplomat, philosopher, and a writer who lived during the Renaissance period from 1469 to 1527. So he is best known for the famous work The Prince, which is significant piece of political literature. So today I'm going to explain the theme, the style, plot, and the author purpose and the connection of his work to the Renaissance. So the genre of this is about political philosophy, advanced literature. Now let's proceed to the overview of this literature. So The Prince is a piece of writings that offer the guidance on leadership, political strategy, and statecraft. So si Machiavelli wrote it during a time when Italy was politically unstable and divided. So the work is dedicated to Lorenzo de Medici, a prominent political figure of that time. So, and it is often seen as a manual for rulers, no, or the leaders on how to gain and maintain power. Okay, so Machiavelli's life and experience. No, what is the Machiavelli's experience about his life? Okay, so Machiavelli lived in Florence, Italy during the early 16th century. So which was a time of a great political instability in the Italian city-state. So his own experience in government service shaped his perspective. Okay, so let's move on to the theme of that literature, The Prince. So The Prince is primarily deals with the theme of power, leadership, and moral ambiguity. So Machiavelli's book offer insight, no, into how ruler can acquire and maintain political power, often emphasizing practicality and adaptability in the politics. So it also raises questions about the moral and ethical dilemmas that the rulers might face in their quest for power. So what is the style Machiavelli used in her writing? So the Prince is a direct, clear, and focused on a practical advice. So he uses historical examples and case studies to illustrate his point, making it accessible and persuasive to his intended audience. So it's about ruler and political leaders. Purpose in writing this literature it is during the period in Italy where he had experience in the various government rule. So his aim was to provide advice to the leaders on how to maintain and expand their power. Ultimately, nag-contribute siya sa stability and the unity of the Italy. So Machiavelli wrote the French so with specific aim in mind. So he intended to provide a practical advice to the leaders on how to acquire, maintain, and consolidate political power. So he believed that his insight could help a leader to navigate the complexities of politics during a period. So the Prince, the title itself, it is a clear indication that the book is aimed at a ruler or those who aspire to rule. It is the book that focuses on the exercise of power and authority. The connections to the Renaissance is the Machiavelli's life and work were deeply connected to the Renaissance. So this period was characterized by a revival of classical art, literature, and philosophy, as well as a significant development in political thought. So the Prince reflect the intellectual climate of the time. So in conclusion, the Prince is a crucial piece of political literature from the Renaissance period, offering a valuable insight into the exercise of power and leadership. Let me discuss another literature by Niccolo about discourses on a levee. He wrote this during the Renaissance period. So the genre of this literature is about political philosophy, historical analysis, and commentary. So, the overview of this literature, Discourses on Livy, is a significant work in the field of political theory and philosophy, written by the Italian Renaissance thinker si Niccolo Machiavelli. So, this work is a collection of his thought, his reflections, and observations on the political and historical lesson he drew from the writings on the ancient Roman historian Livy. To the theme and discourses under the Livy. So Machiavelli explored the several themes. So one central theme is republicanism. So he delved into the concept of a republic as a form of government and discussed its merit and challenges. So his work is deeply rooted in history and political philosophy na nag-use siya og historical account of Roman historian Livy to frame his political reflections. So Machiavelli also focuses on the qualities and virtue required of the leaders in a republic. So he believed that effective leaders needed a combination of strategic and adaptability and a moral virtue. Machiavelli's writing style in writing discourses on a Livy is characterized by a meticulous and logical analysis of historical events and their applications to political theory. So he employed a combination of expository prose and argumentation to convey his ideas, making his work accessible for both scholar and general readers. For purpose, Machiavelli wrote discourses on a Livy during a time when Italy was politically fragmented and under the foreign domination. So his aim was to provide a practical guidance and insight for a leader and drawing a lesson from historical examples. So he believed that studying history and understanding the dynamic of power could help Italy regain its independence and stability. So, what is the connection of the title, no? So, this title, Machiavelli chose the title Discourses on Livy because he used Livy's historical writing as a foundation for his own discussion on political theory and republicanism. So, he wanted to engage with Livy's historical account to extract lesson and insight for the governance of a contemporary state. Connections to the Renaissance. So Machiavelli work, including the discourses on a Livy, are firmly connected in the Renaissance period. So the Renaissance was characterized by a renewed interest in classical and focused on humanism. So Machiavelli work reflect the intellectual and cultural as the draw on classical text and historical examples to develop his political theory. So the Renaissance emphasized the human agency, individualism, and the revival of classical knowledge influenced the writing significantly. Conclusion, Discourses on a Livy by Niccolo Machiavelli is a pivotal work in the history of political thought, exploring republicanism, leadership, and the applications of historical lessons to the contemporary politics. So it is firmly rooted in the Renaissance period, reflecting the intellectual and cultural currents of the time. So thank you for your attention, and that's all my report.